You're listening to Crystal and Emily on Love Your Shelf, the best librarian podcast in the extensive and highly competitive field of librarian podcasts. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Well, are you feeling in the Christmas spirit yet?
Okay, kind of, yeah.
Are you?
I
thought you were going to commiserate with me. I felt sure.
Well, I don't know. Because, I worked in retail for so long, and I, thought I was such a Scrooge during those years. And, as soon as I quit retail, turns out I love Christmas. But I'm not going to start, putting decorations up the day after Halloween or anything.
Yeah.
I wait until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I go, it differs from year to year.
Yeah.
And same thing with Halloween and Thanksgiving. And
Yeah,
whatever.
no, totally.
So I did Halloween this year.
Yeah,
so
that was your holiday. Your
spoiled
holiday
it.
for the
Yes.
year.
Next year I'll probably skip Halloween and save it all up for Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't get it together for all of them.
Oh,
That's a lot.
No, I'm about it. Love it. We balance each other out in that way, don't we?
Right, usually. Yeah. You don't want to see it when we're both bah humbug about something.
Or both flying off the handle in a good way. Both super over enthused. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Doesn't happen a lot.
No.
Oh, but you wouldn't guess by just listening to us.
No.
We're so delightful.
It's lovely.
Well, it's been a little bit since we've talked, so I have a lot of things, and I'm not going to probably get to all of them.
Okay.
But, read several books, and nothing terrible.
Oh, good.
So,
I thought you were going to say nothing great, but
No.
awesome.
I don't know about great either, but
Oh, okay, but you
not
didn't
terrible.
hate
Not
it.
terrible.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's see. I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian. The one they turned it into a movie with Matt Damon.
The Martian.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very like that.
Cool.
It's about a guy who is a science teacher, and he finds out, or the world finds out, that the sun is losing its energy rapidly, and so they don't have very long before it's going to be Ice Age, and then that's all she wrote.
Don't have very long, how long?
Years.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, 20, 30 years.
Okay.
Until it's just decimated.
Yeah,
It'll be problematic, heavily problematic.
Very
until
soon.
then.
Yes, okay.
But,
Okay.
and then wipe it out. And so, it also turns out that he's not just a science teacher, but he had been, had done some, amazing work with his PhD, but then, his theory or whatever didn't turn out to be true. And then but when they find this out, he's one of the utmost experts in this particular field.
Okay.
That's going to be affected by this whole energy thing.
Oh, goodness.
And so they come to get him, and they make him one of the leaders of this
Okay, I thought you were going to say that he's the person that's hey, listen to me, everyone, and everyone's don't listen to this washed up guy. Okay, so good.
I do hate those.
I do too.
I can't stand those.
I know.
The one about the climate, there's another one that's Day After Tomorrow or something like that.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So annoying.
I hate it.
It's too much my own personal
I
experience.
know. I just want to shake somebody by the shoulders.
Not fair. It's not entertainment, basically.
Yeah, it triggers you a little bit.
Exactly. But in this one, no. He's me, who? And
So modest.
Exactly. And so he gets taken, to this, global elite team of people who's going to try to fix it.
Ah.
And he ends up going to space.
Well.
Yeah, and that the project Hail Mary, it's the last hope, final
Oh my
hope
goodness.
for mankind. And it takes a twist that I wasn't expecting.
Cool.
And and it's funny because it's actually written in kind of what I felt to be a cinematic style. Mm-hmm. So the whole time I was this part they wouldn't have in a movie. Or, you know, like, how are they going to film this?
That's what I was about to ask, because do you think that they'll make this one into a movie?
It would be hard, but I bet they do. I bet they do.
Okay. Because I was about to say, that
some elements of it
doesn't stop people.
No. Some of the elements, or most of it actually does, it seems very much like the way that it's paced and the plot and all of that is very action movie.
Yeah.
But there are some parts where I thought,
yeah.
just one guy talking to himself. But like The Martian.
I mean, I was going to say, The Martian
it worked out.
Was great, yeah.
So we'll see if that magic can
I love it.
work
Yeah,
again.
I do that with like everything everything I like when I'm reading it.
You like how would you picture it?
Yeah.
But very good. And then I read all of these are so different from each other, it's insane.
You Never Let Me Down?
No. I read The Bear by Andrew Krivak.
Okay.
And Krivak? I don't know. But it is sort of an allegory, and it's not very long. It's about it's The Man and the Girl. It's the two characters.
Oh.
And they live on the side of a mountain, and they're the last two humans.
Oh.
That apparently.
Oh.
And so the man is the father of the girl.
Oh, okay.
And he teaches her like how to hunt and how to make everything, because they don't have anything anymore.
Right.
They have like a piece of glass, and that's all that's left over of like humanity.
Civilization. Oh my gosh.
And it's a little bit odd. It's kind of poetic. It's not, it's almost, it gets into like a magical realism kind of thing. But it's, also it makes you think. And, you don't really know what to expect from it.
Cool. Well, that's good, because, I mean, we've, all heard that story, less people on Earth or whatever, so,
It does not take it into any kind of direction
that's great.
You would think.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very good. And then I read Heartland, a memoir of working hard and being broke in the richest country on earth by Sarah Smarsh.
That's crying.
Yes, it's very crying. Yes, very crying.
That's
English
very
is not my
laughing.
first language, I guess. But it is a memoir. It's a true story of a woman who's pretty close to my age. And so it was just so bizarre and uncanny reading it. There were some differences, obviously. She was raised in Kansas.
Yeah.
But farming background, like her family, and then going, like, I think she graduates from high school like a year after I did. And so it was very much a parallel of similar experiences.
Right.
I'll put it that way. But she talks about how, she comes from a lower income working class family, and then she sort of tracks how they're impacted by, living in this country, and her realizations as she gets older about why these things happen.
Right.
And why it's so hard for people to pull themselves out of that.
Yes.
And that it was hard for her, but she's a successful writer now, and she did okay. But I'm still waiting for my success to come around.
Is that your next step?
Maybe so. Who knows?
I'd read what you write.
Yeah, thanks. No, anyway. But so she kind of ties in like historical commentary about the things that are happening broadly in the country, and then how specifically her family's experiencing that.
That's great. That's cool.
And interpreting that and stuff. So it's really good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Or enjoy is maybe
yeah.
I appreciated it.
Okay, that's
and it was thoughtful and provided some insight on that kind of
definitely.
stuff. And then I'm reading City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which I didn't really, I was not a super fan of that, but this is a novel, it's fiction, and it's about a young girl who's just, I think, 19 in 1940, and she gets kicked out of Vassar. She comes from like an upper crust family. She gets kicked out, and then she has to go live with her aunt in I guess it's in Manhattan. Yeah.
Okay.
And the aunt is this like wild woman who owns a playhouse, and so she's
Cool.
got so there's all these characters, you
Yeah.
know, the dancers and the all the people. So it's like a review rather than like serious plays, you know,
Yeah.
so that it is kind of like a low rent but low budget kind
Right.
of place. And so it's told by the girl when she's much older.
Oh, okay.
And so she's
Like
kind of
looking
reflecting.
back.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so,
That sounds
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Very colorful kind of
Yeah.
characters. She's, you know, I think the part where she's kind of flighty and ridiculous as a girl is tempered by the fact that it's her as a woman, as an older woman,
Yeah.
telling about it. Whereas that
Right.
character might be annoying.
She's like, yeah, I know I was annoying.
Right.
Kind of.
Exactly. Yeah, don't let that turn you off.
Yeah,
It's just-
yeah. I did okay.
Yeah. If only we could all live our youths that way.
I
you
know.
So it's okay, people.
Ugh.
I'm gonna be better later on. You know, like don't worry.
Can I just say thank
gonna grow out of
goodness people can't see my old like Facebook statuses and stuff. I mean, they make me cringe so hard.
Well, I was growing up without Facebook
Yeah.
or any of that stuff. Like I was an adult before MySpace came
Yeah.
out. So
yeah.
Mine are even further hidden, thankfully.
Yeah. I mean, I was in high school, so
I'm sure there are pictures and stuff out there
Oh
that-
God, yeah.
Or there's notes I sent to somebody that I really wish hopefully don't exist anymore. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, I would recommend it. I haven't finished it, but so far I would recommend it. And then I also started, and I'm going back and forth between this one and City of Girls. Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone by Diana Gabaldon.
Okay, yeah.
There's the next installment in the Outlander series that people have been waiting years for.
Yeah.
And it's good. you
Yeah.
know. But
Is it real fat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't write
Well,
anything
and I
that's
was
not
gonna say,
1,000
if
pages.
it's been years, I would hope.
Yes. But the title indicates probably somebody's not going to be around. At least that's what, everybody's assuming.
Okay.
Go
See,
tell
I
the bees that
haven't-
I'm gone.
I've only seen I haven't read, and I've
Mm-hmm.
kind of wondered if I should go back and read.
I think it's worth reading.
Yeah, because I started the series and really enjoyed it, and kind of fell off of it. But anyway,
Yeah. I don't, not to give much away for people that haven't read it or aren't familiar with it, but the main characters go through harrowing experiences.
that was part of the reason why I had to take a break.
Yeah.
Like it just got real intense.
It's
and,
so intense. And it's like just one after the other.
I mean, you barely have time to take like a sigh of relief
Mm-hmm.
after they get out of one pickle before something else comes up.
Yes.
Comes up.
And so I started reading these probably 15 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe,
okay.
maybe something like that, 10 years ago. And there were only, I want to say maybe 4 or 5
Okay.
at the time. And now, gosh, I don't even know which one this is. 9 or 10.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't even know if I
So
realized.
I've spent a number of years waiting for this woman to write
Yeah.
more books. And I feel like I need to savor
Yeah.
the time that I have with this one without, keeping other people from reading it.
Of course.
So probably blow through it this weekend, but yeah, but it's
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I love books like that.
yeah, and I've read, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it, and nothing too insane has happened. So I feel like maybe
Oh.
she's gonna go easy on these characters a little bit,
Hey, famous last word.
or she's gonna
Watch
go easy
out.
on them until the end and then
Until-
really
yeah.
drop the hammer.
Literally, there's probably a hammer being dropped on someone. I don't know.
Or multiple. So they just all be wiped out by the end of it.
Right.
But it's, for those of people who aren't familiar with it, it's historical fiction, also has a little science fiction or, fantasy element in it.
Romance.
Romance. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's swashbuckling.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all kinds
the
of stuff.
first time I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I wasn't familiar with the series until I started working here, and the person who first recommended it to me was an older patron, a gentleman patron.
Oh.
And he was kind of like, yeah, it's not really typically what I'd read, but, somebody had turned him onto it, and he was like, it's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
he was even kind of surprised that, that he liked it so much.
Well, when I was a teenager, probably, I read all of these books by John Jakes. Mm-hmm. And I read, books like The North and the South. And so it was a historical fiction.
Right.
But they were in these long series.
Right.
And so this kind of falls in line with that. I guess because they were around in my house, my parents read them.
Sure.
I don't know. What was I doing? But it was like, it's all about this family from the Revolutionary War to,
okay.
Whatever. And so this is kind of a similar kind of thing. And it seems like there's now the main characters have adult children.
Wow.
And so there's multiple, there's other extended family relations and all these characters. So it's there's a lot going on.
Sprawling at this
sprawling,
point.
Yes. It always was, but now it's even more complicated.
Sprawling.
Yeah. But so
that's neat.
That's exciting. And I'm sure that there's people out there ready to get their hands on that. And so that's the books that I have read recently. And I've been watching some things as well. There's some pretty wild stuff going on right now. I actually watched a movie and then totally regretted it and like, I need to go back to just watching series.
What was it?
I didn't think it was going to be good, but I just, you know.
What do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Apparently, time.
2 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Red Notice. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It too.
Yeah. Oh, you got to be honest. You got to say what.
I was disappointed. I just was.
It was just. So it's The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
I love The Rock. Love
He's
Dwayne
funny.
Johnson. He is he is a man of many talents.
Ryan Reynolds in The Right Thing can be very funny. He's very dry and funny.
And Gal Gadot.
Gadot, yeah.
Okay, I feel like I've heard them say Gadot, and I was like,
Maybe.
that's not my initial. That
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But anyway, I felt like Ryan Reynolds was like.
Bored?
I don't know. Yeah, well, and his. They were trying to. I mean, he was supposed to be like the funny guy, and I didn't feel like he was very funny. He reminded me of like guys I went to school with when I was like 13. That kind of like Zoolander's sense of humor. Which, don't get me wrong, I loved Zoolander when it came out. But
yeah, not smart, not snappy, not witty. Just anyway.
Yeah,
Blah.
We were the same way.
The only thing that I perked up when I, as a film buff, throughout the thing they're searching for these treasures or whatever, and it's clearly not about the treasures, right?
Yeah.
So those are a MacGuffin, and then at one point he says, or somebody says, "Where do we find these things?" And Ryan Reynolds says, "In the box marked MacGuffin." And I was like, well, somebody there.
And I totally missed
knew a little bit of
Yeah,
something.
no, that blew right past me.
Right. And I was like, well, at least they acknowledge that. They're aware of something, but no.
Yeah, no, and it felt kind of, I don't know, not very well organized or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, just.
Not great.
No.
I think, and I hate to say it because, again, I don't have anything against all three of these people, but had it been a different cast, I think it could have been a better movie.
Potentially. Yeah, some people just don't have good chemistry. And you could tell that they were really trying hard.
I know.
But they just didn't.
I know. Anyway.
Yeah. Blah.
I forgot I even watched it until you said something.
So then the rest of the things that I have to mention are not movies.
Okay.
So I started watching Yellow Jackets, which is bonkers.
What is that?
It's on Showtime, and I have it through
okay.
Hulu. And it's got Juliette Lewis, Christina Ricci, Melanie Linsky, and it's about a girls' soccer team in the 90s, and they're going to go play the national game.
Okay.
Or not national championship or whatever. National game.
The national game. And I nodded
Sure, we know all about sports ball over here. So they're going to go play the championship game. Their plane crashes in the mountains, and then they're lost there for 18 months or something. And then
That is bonkers.
yeah. And so it really goes on lots of different weird directions.
Wow.
But then there's some of them, they've survived to be Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci.
Got it.
But they're, like being impacted by this event like 20 years ago when this all happened. And so again, it's one of those where it's like that when they're in high school or whatever, it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's got a great soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
So it's all very,
Yes.
like, I don't know. I get it.
Yeah.
It's my vibe.
Yes, I'm with you.
But it has some violence
Oh.
and some stuff.
Okay.
So keep that in
If
mind.
I watch, I'll watch with trepidation.
It starts out like in the first episode, you're like, okay, that's what we're going to deal
We're
with.
buckling up for this.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
not going to be surprised.
After this, I might ask you for details.
Yeah.
I like you to give me spoilers so that I can.
Be prepared.
Sometimes I don't love surprises. I
Yeah.
think anyone who listens regularly knows this about me.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard anybody talk about it because I kind of been
Yeah, I'd never heard of
disconnected
it,
from
yeah.
that, and I just saw it pop up, and I thought, what could this possibly
Yeah.
be? So, yeah,
Here we are.
yeah, I'm invested now.
Cool.
Let's see, and I haven't watched the latest episode of The Shrink Next Door, which is on Apple Plus, and it's Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell.
That's right.
Which and it's based on a true story,
Yes.
which was also a podcast, and so it's also a little wild, but in a like you can see it in their faces, and Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell, because they're both so wild and
Oh my,
crazy
animated and yeah,
that they're just like just holding it in, and
buzzing. With
but
energy.
it's just like
yeah.
it's really amazing to watch
Cool.
it. Because they do a great job with their characters, but they just can't hide the maniacal
Yeah.
glee in their
yes.
faces, But it adds so much because
Yeah.
the characters do crazy things, but they're actual people,
Cool.
based on
Yeah.
actual people. So it really works.
Oh yeah, I need to check that one.
Yeah, I liked it. Oh, and I lied. I did watch another movie.
I was about to say, I think I know that you did watch another movie.
I watched The Humans.
Oh, because actually, I know you at least started another movie.
Well, okay,
Okay.
we'll get to that one.
Okay.
You can remind me, just maybe so. But it's on Showtime as well, and it's Amy Schumer, Richard Jenkins, Steven Yeun, who was in Walking Dead.
Yes.
Who I love.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so mad when.
Yeah, I
We
know.
don't have to talk
I know.
about that. That was the time. That was
You
when
were
I
like,
quit
click.
watching
Yeah,
Walking
yeah,
Dead.
yeah.
But it's based on a Tony-winning play, and it is just very unique. It's shot like a horror film, but it's this family, and Steven Yeun plays the daughter's boyfriend.
Okay.
And
You
they're
said
having
the daughter. I was like, oh.
that's different take. But he plays the boyfriend, and he's meeting the family for Thanksgiving, and they're having it at their new apartment that they just bought, which they're talking about. It's such a rough place. It's like 2-story apartment in New York.
Man.
But it has like weird things to it, and they can hear the neighbors, and it's just the way that it's filmed, the way that the characters are. They all have these kind of weird quirks that are coming out, and there's a grandmother who has dementia who can't speak really, and it's just the whole time you're just
On
what
the edge.
is gonna happen?
What are we leading to? Ooh.
Yeah, and it's very much like it looks like that if you've seen the Babadook or the Hereditary, that's just gray and green and dark and kind of
gloomy.
Yeah.
For some reason, is the word that comes
yeah,
to just
it's
ooh,
gloomy, and that's what it's like. And so you're just waiting on tenterhooks, what who's gonna get killed or what?
Yeah.
Who knows what's gonna happen? But it's psychological basically,
Cool.
but very unusual.
Interesting.
It's worthwhile. Yeah. Amy Schumer plays the sister, and it's not necessarily like a comedic role at all. It's
That's great.
yeah, very good.
Cool.
Yeah, so how about you?
Wait, did you watch Tick Tick Boom Boom? Is that what it's
Yes,
called?
Tick Tick Boom.
Yeah,
I
Tick, Tick,
did.
Boom.
I
Okay.
forgot about that
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So I'm just a big liar.
Get out of here. Wait, how was it?
It was good. It was enjoyable.
Okay.
It's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's based on the songs and everything are written by Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And so it's a musical, and what's his name? Andrew Garfield plays the Jonathan Larson character. And he basically, before he had success with Rent, he went through a hard time, obviously, like struggling
to,
singer,
make his
actor,
dreams
person,
come
writer.
true. Yeah.
And sadly, he actually died just before Rent
Yeah,
was successful.
That's right.
So he never got to experience any of that. But so the whole time, that's kind of, hanging over that's
yeah.
So you're rooting for him, but you're like, well,
we know how
we know how this is gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
But it's great.
Cool. Yeah, I want to watch it. I watched. I don't have a lot to offer, but I watched a new Christmas movie on HBO Max. It's called 8-Bit Christmas.
Oh.
It's got Neil Patrick Harris, and really, I think he was maybe the only big name in it, but it's definitely kind of taking notes from A Christmas Story. Like, it's a dad telling his daughter the story of him, how he got a PlayStation, like, one Christmas. And so it's like, it's all set in the 80s. And, you know who else is in it? June Diane, I can't think of her last name, but she is one of the daughters on Grace and Frankie. The sort of bossier daughter. Yes. I really love her.
Yeah.
And so she plays the mom, and the dad is Steve Zahn, and he's great as the dad. And it was a cute movie. It
sounds like something I would like.
I think you would really like it. I was a little bit, like, I felt like the end, there was something to be desired at the end. I feel like they could have, I don't know, it just sort of ended. But the movie itself was really cute. Like, I think it's kind of earning its way into one of those, like, Christmas classics.
Oh,
and,
nice.
It was cute. And I really liked, I was not alive for the 80s, but, what I've seen, stories you've told, it's really funny. Just they really play up sort of those, like, things from the 80s that, don't exist anymore. And,
right.
Just sort of that whole, like, I can't remember what it was, but that kind of, I don't know, panic, at anything that's, I don't know, bad stuff and drugs and, just that, like, and so, anyway, it was a fun movie. It was really enjoyable.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to watch that.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
And then I finally read Final Girl Support Group. I told you this, of course,
yes.
But yeah. And yeah, it was a wild ride. I really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's a great slasher, buckle up. Yeah, it was.
It's Grady Hendrix is the author. Well, I just checked out. I haven't started it yet, but he wrote another book called Horror Store.
Oh.
And I'm saying that funny because it's got the umlaut because it's
really?
like it's supposed to be like these people are trapped in a IKEA type place.
That's funny.
And so
that's hilarious.
It's a horror store.
Yeah.
I'll have to see. I'll let you know how that turns out.
Because it was. I read it almost in one sitting. It was wild ride.
Yeah.
I went through and dark.
Oh, very.
Yeah, no, there were some things that I kind of skimmed the page because I was like, ugh.
Don't need to read about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then we'll wrap up with some shows, I guess, that I've also watched. I just watched. I don't know. I'm kind of on a kick of, like, at least once a week I'll watch, like, a 2020 or a
We've been doing that
documentary,
too.
something.
Yeah, because Nick's been having it on. He'll have it on when he's, like, studying, like a weirdo.
Yeah. I would just end up getting sucked into it.
I know. And so I'll come home on my break and I'll, get into the episode and come home and watch it later. But anyway, we've been doing that too.
Well, so the one I just watched is the Chippendales murder.
We started that, and I want to go back and finish it now.
And the only thing I could think of is, like, back in the early 90s on SNL, there was a skit where Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze are competing to be Chippendale dancers.
Yes, and they're both, like, shirtless, but with just,
little,
like,
the collars
bow ties,
and the cuffs.
right?
Yeah. So fantastic and hilarious. And so I was just thinking about that. It's in the documentary. They show the clip of that. They have to.
Yeah. Oh, I love it though. I mean,
So-
I don't love that it happened, but
Right.
yeah.
So that was an enjoyable.
Yeah, I told you yesterday that there's an episode that's called like the Gone Girl something. Anyway, that was a crazy one too. So I recommend that one.
Yeah.
To anyone.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there. They actually do a really great job a lot of times with those.
Yeah.
And you used to have to like catch it at 5 o'clock
I
or whatever, not
know.
5 o'clock, but
And
like
now-
8 o'clock on Friday night. Who's doing that? You
Who's
know?
at home? I know exactly.
I mean, there
Yeah,
was
so
a
true.
time in my life when I was doing that, but I don't know.
Not
That's
judging.
a
I'm
whole
silent
other
'cause
story.
I'm not judging you. I'm like, well, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, why not?
I'm probably gonna.
That's
do
what
that
I'm going to do.
tonight.
Yeah. I won't be judging you. Don't worry. And then I started a new series called Dickinson, which is about Emily Dickinson.
I want to watch that.
It's-
Okay, it has like 3 seasons out, right?
Yes, and
I had literally just saw something about it. Was it last night? 'Cause
I
didn't
just
realize that
happened
Chloe
across it.
Feynman from SNL is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had never heard of this. This
Haley
is so funny.
Steinfeld plays Emily Dickinson.
Yeah, and I like her a lot.
And it's told, it's like in contemporary language. So so they're all like teenage girls.
Oh, I love
and they talk like us, like, anyway, it's,
And Emily,
takes a little
Emily
bit to
Dickinson
get-
is my namesake too, so obviously
obviously.
close to my heart.
And so,
That's cool. I didn't realize that.
has a contemporary soundtrack as well. And
That's fun.
it really gives us, I think at first it was a little jarring, but I can see why they did it, because she was so different
Yes.
from her time
Yes.
that it really kind of makes sense that it's told like with this
Like
future
how,
sound,
yeah, and because not that she could ever be super relatable, but I do
Right.
think it is a good way to sort of give a show how a person like that might be.
Yeah. Sometimes it is a little too teeny bopper,
Okay.
and I want to say, I don't know, but it's not like revering her as this untouchable icon. It's like
Right.
she was a girl.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
she was, just made these choices. Anyway. So
I want to watch it.
yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of like the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet vibe, or
Which I
The Great,
liked. So-
yeah, exactly. My sister and I walked out of that when we saw it in the theater.
I
and
wondered
made
if
fun of it.
if I watched it now, I wonder how I would feel, because I was like, 14
We were-
the first time I watched it, so I was like, Mrs. Seckle.
Yeah, we were older and
Yeah.
thought we knew a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
And,
right. So we
thought we were real
we
smart.
should both go back and watch it and see how we feel now.
Yeah, it'd probably be a completely different experience. But and then like The Great, which about
Yeah,
Catherine the Great,
yeah.
it's kind of in that
I
same
see. Yeah.
vibe. Wiz Khalifa is the personification of death in it.
Whoa.
Because she talks to death.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you just have to check it
I
out.
was gonna say I'm on board.
Yeah. So then I also have watched a couple of episodes of Dexter: New Blood,
Yes.
which is on Showtime. It's the restarting of the Dexter,
Which I never watched.
I did, but then I think I watched like 4 seasons of it. It has I was super into, and I still am, I'm a sucker for an opening sequence.
Yeah.
It has a great opening
Yeah.
sequence
I have a lot of respect
where
for it.
it's
a
like,
good one. I
it's
know.
like cooking breakfast, but then it's like sharp knife and
Cool.
and
yeah.
he puts ham in the pan or whatever and it sizzles and
Yeah,
it's just like
Anyway,
I just love that kind of stuff.
I do too.
But this is different. It opens up to Iggy Pop's song "The Passenger," referring to the dark passenger, which is the whatever it is that makes Dexter do the stuff that he does.
Okay.
And in the other series, the previous series he's in Miami, so it's like this vibrant, colorful,
cool.
upbeat place. But now he's in like the frozen tundra. And
is it like has the same amount of time passed, since the last season came out? Or
oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's been like several years.
Okay,
since,
cool.
Anyway,
neat. Because it's a show I've always wanted to go back and watch.
In fact, I started because I did skip. I didn't watch like the final season.
Yeah.
And I started to go back to that, but I thought, let me just see what they're going to do with it now.
Watch a quick YouTube video that gives a summary.
Synopsis.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, I already kind of know what happened,
yeah.
but I just hadn't. I don't know. It got a little too much for me toward the end of that original series, but I also watched Tiger King 2.
Oh my gosh.
I just had to because I felt like it was such like a cultural thing where everybody was watching it and talking about it. I just felt like I needed to see the final part of it.
Because, I know you and I had talked about it. I had seen part of it because it was another thing Nick had on in the background, and then I came home on my break and was like, oh, we're watching this.
I didn't know it was coming out.
I didn't either.
It was just out, and I watched it. And, oh, goodness. It was...
it's bleak.
It's bleak. It's painful to watch.
It is.
Like, the first go-around was... You just didn't know what to expect, and it was so wild. But now you all these characters, and some of them suffered great tragedy.
Yes.
And
they're people, like real, actual people.
Mm-hmm. And
not that I wasn't considering that before, but it was just kind of this, I was just kind of sitting there with my mouth open in response to the first season.
Right. Because you just didn't know the depths it was going to go each time.
Right.
But this time it was a little more, I don't know, real.
Yeah.
Or something.
When it's them, these people dealing with the aftermath and,
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Just a lot.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Carol Baskin still seems pretty sus.
I agree.
And then there's the other guy whose name I can't remember, who's like a new kind of the new focus of this new episodes.
Because again, I didn't finish the whole thing. The one who
the lone guy who really they come after and want to take all of his animals away from him. And
okay, I must have missed
it's like
that.
the end.
Okay, I must have missed that. Yeah,
and he was
a piece of work.
A real piece of work. It was hard to watch because he was. It's crazy.
It really is. Oh my gosh.
And they wrapped it up in just I don't know. I don't remember how many episodes, but it wasn't very many.
No.
It was just here's the wildest stuff that came out of this last couple of years. But so wow. There's that.
Yep.
Oh well, and then there's a second season of a couple of other shows that I enjoyed as the first season, The Morning Show.
I haven't seen that yet, but I want to.
Yeah, it's good. I didn't think it was going to be good, but it's a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
And then there's another season of How To by John Wilson, which is one of my favorite things.
That's another thing. I never went back and watched it, but I remember.
Oh my gosh, you've got to watch it.
Yeah.
It is just so because again I was like, how to? Okay, he's gonna tell you how to do something.
Yeah.
No, that's not what's happening. And it's insane how he crafts it.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, the first episode of season 2 is something like how to get into real estate or how to buy real estate. And so essentially, he lives in New York, and his landlady lives downstairs, and he lives above her.
Okay.
And she's elderly, and she decides she's going to sell her place and move to Las Vegas or something.
Uh-huh.
And So he's faced with, now what do I do? What do I do? You know,
Right.
am I supposed to buy this?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to move?
Yeah.
And so it follows him as he's like making these decisions. And it's hard to explain because it's so dry, and it turns into, it's an examination of real estate, but then it's also about all these other things, and it's so unique that I think everybody should just watch it.
Cool.
And then let's see, I think that's it. Oh, and then there's another Radio Rental that's those are still being released.
You listened to that one that I brought up?
Yes. And the one, there's one that's set in, set, I guess. The story is about Fort Worth or Aledo.
See, I haven't heard that.
And then the guy in it was actually arrested in Lufkin. So it was very close to home. Yeah.
Was it in the same episode as
this was the latest one, like last week.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's the next one. The weird massage one.
So weird.
It was weird. And I think a lot of people, that's what's funny about it, is I think a lot of people have the stories like that, where, if you just are at a dinner party and like, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you? People have really crazy stuff that's happened to them. And that's basically all it is. It's just people who tell their stories of something unusual. And, or like the one that's set in the race through the jungle or whatever. And it's
in Hawaii?
Yes.
Yes.
There's just some crazy stories.
I know.
It's a great podcast.
It is.
I mean, it's hit or miss. Some of them, the first season,
chock full.
Almost
every story was, I don't even know,
give you the
flabbergasting. Just kidding.
Yes.
But I mean,
give you literal chills. Yeah.
Yeah. And this season, Nick's been listening to it. He's listened to all of them and just sort of told me which ones I should go back and listen to. But, it's been a little hit or miss.
Yeah.
But there are a few that are like,
But I like that kind of stuff anyway.
I do too.
And I want to hear everybody's weird stories. So
it's the best.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. And we're about to have a toy party sleepover in the library.
Getting our sleepover on.
You never know what the stuffed animals are going to get up to when they're left in the library by themselves overnight.
We got to document it.
Yeah. We're going to be hiding in the stacks watching them. What a weird way. What a weird way to spend a Friday night.
Yeah. Then we'll watch some 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Cleanse our palates.
That's right.
With some good murder shows.
Now I can sleep.
Yeah, don't listen to Radio Rental right before you go to sleep, for sure.
For real though.
Yeah, but murder documentary, yes.
Yeah, definitely do that. For whatever reason it makes sense. Okay.
All right.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Bye.
Bye.